The United Nations has called it one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. More than 1 million people in the Darfur region of Western Sudan have lost their homes.
We have a total meltdown for security now in West Darfur.
They've killed tens of thousands in Darfur and destroyed hundreds of villages.
This is ethnic cleansing at its worst.
What is happening in the Sudan, in the Darfur region now, is outside the circle of civilized human behavior.
I've been very active on Darfur and the problem of the slow-rolling genocide that's taking place there. We wanted to make sure that we focused on that during our visit to Africa. So we went to one of the refugee camps right on the border of Sudan in Chad.
The governor of Wadi Fira is very pleased that you took the time to actually come to Chad from your long voyage across Africa.
This is a very important situation, not only for the governor and his people, but also for the entire region.
We've arrived in Geureda, eastern Chad, where Darfurian refugees have been housed for a couple years now. We're hoping that Senator Obama will gain a better appreciation of the constraints we're dealing with here on many levels, particularly logistic. It's a very rugged terrain, difficult place to support any kind of human existence. So to have this added burden of several 100,000 Sudanese refugees living in dry lands that can barely support Chadian populations is a great difficulty for us.
Driving in was the most illustrative part. I mean, it's almost biblical with the donkeys and the camels and the stone huts and the surrounding areas. This could be, without the cars, 2,000 years ago. And it's very interesting that even despite that, they are invariably getting international news in some places and getting international analysis because they seem to have a very good understanding of what's going on.
Everybody's pooling the resources. That's good. That's good. Come on. Here. Sit down. No. Yeah. Sit. Come on. Sit. So first of all, just say hello.
I will dire bonjour.
أولاً بقول لكم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Senator Barack Obama. I'm coming here from the United States. Just visiting the camp to find out what the situation is and to find out how people are doing. So maybe they could just tell me their stories.
وجينا حرقنا الحلال في الحلال بتاعنا وشالت هاجنا واتحرق لنا وجناه خلت فيه وخلى الرجل بتاعه المات خلينا هناك فيه وجينا وقعنا في التينة. الحمد لله مشكور لهم لقينا منظمة إشالة إجابانا في الهيانة هنا. أقوم دوجيدا تدبنا كل قتلة وأيانا قتلة وعليهم جديدة جيل.
زوجة كل قتلوا.
إلا.
علينا من قرب الختم إلى 15 يوم جينا في تينا. برجلنا. جينا في تينا. إذا جينا في التينة ده بكان علينا قاعدين ده أسيف الزيادة ده يربع ديرك شاف الزغير زيادة ده شايف جنجر ماشي ده يربع بسكينة ديرك مرة زيادة ده يفرشوه يدوبوه يعملوا بوه فصعات.
A numbness sometimes seemed to overtake them, as if this was their inevitable lot in life, and that nobody expected them to be able to return. I came back, I think, with an increased sense of urgency about the need for the United States and other world powers to pay attention. I come here mostly to listen and to learn about what the people who are here, who've come from Darfur, think needs to happen in terms of
them being able to return to their homes. I've been working closely to try to help get a UN protective force into this region, but we still have more work to do, and so it's helpful for me when I hear stories from the people here for me to be able to take this back when I go to the United States in my work. I just met with the leaders inside, and they told me that the most important thing is to get a UN protective force in place as quickly as possible, and also compensation for those who experienced some of the crimes at the hands of the Janjaweed. When I go back to the United States, I am going to report back on what I've been told here. And as you can see, we also have media here, so they are going to be reporting directly on what you've told the world in terms of getting a UN protective force here as quickly as possible. I only have a very little time left, so if there's one or two people who want to make a comment, now's the time to do so.
Okay. First of all, we need peace in all of Darfur. We want to go our home peacefully.
Let me just say, I appreciate everybody taking the time to talk to me. I'm going to be working hard when I get back to the United States. The people of Darfur who are here in Chad are not going to be forgotten. There are many people in America who care very much about being able to make sure that you can return home. And I'm going to be working with them to see what we can do to bring this UN protective force here as quickly as possible. So I just heard from the men who told me about the issues that are very important to the people of this camp. I believe very strongly that women's rights have to be protected. And I think it's very important that even when the UN protective force is put in place, that women are protected from violence of the sort that has happened in the past.
The camp is so interesting because they want American leadership in Darfur. In other parts of the trip, we've sort of seen an anti-American backlash in some respects. But in this camp, they're saying they actively want the U.S. to lead the UN into Darfur to help improve their lives and make it a better place. And it's ultimately a nice reminder of how people look to the U.S. for leadership and hope around the world. And I hope that Barack and our delegation can help, inspire and fulfill those hopes.
The United States has a stake for national security reasons as well as humanitarian reasons in stabilizing this region. One of the running themes as I traveled throughout North Africa was the sense that these ungoverned spaces end up being a place where terrorism can take root, where large numbers of refugees and weapons and disease can be a volatile mix that eventually can have an impact on us, and that the world is shrinking to the point where we now have to actively engage in stabilizing these regions. If we don't, we do so at our own peril.